back to Ashwood Fab Shop. This week we start a process on 3 trucks, and they're 3 trucks that I've been wanting for my whole entire life. I have 3 ideas in my head that I've been tossing up and turning around and putting up and down and twisting and drawing and changing and that for probably a good 10 years. As you've all seen, I like pick 'em up trucks. I actually prefer crew cab pick 'em up trucks over single cabs. Just how giant they are. I'm a big boy, I like a lot of space. So this week marks the start of a series. There'll be 3 trucks in this line of series, but each truck will have its own series. For this series, it all started with 1 car, and that was my 79 series. Sold, she gone, the 79's gone. This whole process really kicked off for me, and the start of it really kicked off for me. I was fishing one day, I finished fishing, jumped in the ute, and I literally turned to go up this bank, and I had a 79 lifted 35s twin locked, the quintessential fucking ultimate 4-wheel drive in Australia. Honest opinion, 79s are a shit 4-wheel drive. Land Cruisers do a thing, that's why I've owned so many of them. But 79s and 75s, they're workhorses. You want to go out into the paddock, grab a comb trailer, pull a comb trailer, no dramas. You have to do so much work, money, you have to put everything into these trucks on an already $100,000 price tag to be able to get anywhere near the 4-wheel drive capability of a $5,000 80 series. I'm not saying that 79s are completely garbage, because they're not. I've owned a brand new one, I've owned multiple 75s, I've owned a chopped 75 troop carrier, I've owned heaps of Land Cruiser utes. I just, in 4-wheel driving side of things, they're not where a lot of other cars can be very easily for very cheap. So in that way, they're not great. As a tow pig, they're good until a point. You want to pull a 4-ton comb trailer, no dramas. As long as you've got a heavy duty clutch, you'll send it, no dramas. If I want to do what I want to do, I have big trucks, I want to pull big trucks behind it, so I need a hauler that can pull for example, a 30-foot gooseneck and be comfortable doing it. Could I put a 30-foot gooseneck behind a V8 Cruiser, a single cab? Possibly. Dual cab might be pushing your limits there a little bit. You could probably do it, but is it going to do it easily? No. So that brings me to the first truck I am going to build, which all started with this 1984 F350 truck behind me, which you'll see more on that later. So I need a hauler of 1. 2, I want a cool bagged dually. That is going to be something different. I've got something wild planned for that. That's going to be more of I'd say a show truck as such. 3, I want a 4-wheel drive and or 6-wheel drive tourer. I don't want a tourer that is the same as every other one. You get 57 blokes on YouTube or clickbait with the ultimate 4-wheel drive tourer. and 57 of them are all 79s. 64 of them are all 80 series. 26 of them are all them V8 Patrols, I don't even know what they're called, Y62s, that's what they're called, Y62s. 100 of them are 200 series, 50 of them are chopped 200 series, and now you've got the Rams. My goal is to create the ultimate tourer for me. Flex, comfortable, cheap, turbo diesel, and old. The body that I'm going to put on it has to be older than 60. I don't want a new full drive. I like old stuff. So yeah, I've got something wild coming for that. I have the cab, have the chassis. I have everything I need to do what I want to do with that car, including a choice of 2 motors. So I've got that sorted out too. But first and foremost, build a hauler, which you're all currently sitting on right now. But let's take it back to where I've sold my 79 and I already had something on the line ready to go. I was just waiting to really have the push to make the purchase to get it going. So, take you back to a quick trip up to Queensland, where I purchased something that is the main piece of the first puzzle. We'll cut to that video now, which will start with a quick sneak peek of what I'm going to get. Today we are messing with that thing there behind me. I'll cut to the where I picked this thing up and you can have a look at it and then we'll go from there. Quick pissing down rain. We got it on. Old mate wasn't too keen on get videoed, so here it is. Got it on the Triton of all things. So she's on. I can't give you much of a walk around. She's a bit rough, but she'll do a job. I'll come back to you in a little bit. Alright y'all, I made it back. It was very late last night, not without troubles. Halfway back we had a heap of tranny fluid come out of the transmission. I don't know if it just overheated and had too much in it because I just serviced it. But yeah, that was not great. So yeah, we got it all sorted. Now we're just about to unload it and I might unload it. There she is in the sun, rough as guts. I've noticed a few things on it straight away. Old mate I think was a bit out of his league. As you can see, he's just jammed spaces in the leaf spring perch to even it up for the Super Duties. It's supposed to be lifted, but all he's done to lift it is just chuck a heap of things in it, which I've just realised is loose. It's not actually tight. So that's always a good thing. He's got a heap of really good parts in here. It's just I think he didn't know what he's doing, like the gap in here for yeah, just everything seems like a big afterthought and not really knowing what he's doing. But he's done body work with a grinder, as you can see. But yeah, use the old gasless MIG, I'd say. So yeah, she's a bit wild, but she'll do. He's around here and passes off to Anne, and yeah, I'm going to unload it with a forklift. So at the moment we're just starting to pull it apart. You'll see from the video, 12 valve Cummins, NV 4500 rebuilt, 205 MP 205 transfer rebuilt. There's lots of things that are not so great with this thing, but the motor seems to run good. You will have seen the video where it was running, but there's just lots of stuff. I'll grab this torch here so you can have a look. There's lots of stuff that he's done that is just questionable. Obviously you can see that that's not right. That's dog shit. I don't like that. He's made his own brackets here. They're pretty stout, but you know, at the same time, the mount for the springs are the same mount for the bull bar, and yeah, just it could be better. But the engine itself seems okay. It seems to be leaking a little bit of oil from the side cover. Apparently he resealed it, but I haven't seen that as yet. It might actually end up getting resealed again because it all seems to be coming out of the side cover there, as you can see. But I'm not too stressed. So I paid a fair bit of quid for this thing. I'm at 15 grand into it. A lot of people would say that's a lot of money to pay for a car that is I'm going to pull apart, but it's an engine that I've wanted for a long time. If you haven't got on this bandwagon yet of these head torches, they're bloody good. So they're on. Handy if you're doing lots of mechanical stuff. So yeah, it's something that I'm going to keep an eye on. We'll check all that. It's got Hydro Boost. So the reason I paid 15 grand for it, Cummins. So realistically, you can't get a Cummins one that is half decent for under sort of 10 to 15 grand. Sure, they're on marketplace, but they look like they've been under the ocean. Honestly, you get a Chinese new one for, I think it's 14 grand. This one come from Techstar. Got a receipt. It has a picture with the motor. I don't know how true it is, but picture with the motor. Supposed to have 100,000 Ks on it. I believe that. It runs really well. Once it heats up and stuff, it'll be a whole lot better, but it runs really well. So we'll say 10 grand on the motor. NV 4500 you can't find for sort of, you're looking realistically rebuilt. I'll focus in here. Rebuilt, you're kind of looking at roughly around I think it's about 6 to 8 grand. We'll call it, honestly, we'll call it probably 8ish. So it's been rebuilt. Got the receipts for that. So straight away you're already at 18 grand. NP205, they're really hard to find at the moment. I've been trying to find one. Other blokes will probably find it easier, but they have a lot better connections. It's been fully rebuilt as well, so new bearings and everything the whole way through it. So we'll call that, I don't know, 4 grand, 5 grand. So automatically already at 23 grand. Then we jump to Super Duty axles front and rear. So Dana 68 lug and Super Duty 8 lug Sterling 10.5 in the rear. So they're about $1,800 to 2 grand each. So straight away there's another 4 grand. So we're at almost 30 grand. So for me, the 15 grand that I spent on it is already doubled in parts. I will end up selling the body. I got a bloke keen on that for a couple of grand, so I'm automatically already at 13 grand that I paid for this car. That's not even including the parts that I'm going to get for it. The hydro boost, they're pretty difficult to get. I got a price on one the other day. They're about 2 to 3 grand, which is the power steering pump that runs off the back of the motor here, which is this one. And then it also runs up and runs your boost, and it's hydraulic boost rather than vacuum. And that runs all your brakes and everything like that, which they're really, really good if you get them right. This one's a little bit dicky. I don't know quite what's going on. I'm gonna have to have a look at the steering box, but it's already got a HX35 turbo on it, which this side, obviously you've got the manifold's a bit rusty, but oil's clean. Honestly, there's not a whole lot that I see that's wrong with it. It shifts good, everything like that. The hydro boost looks reasonably new. The front diff, I've pulled the center out, I pulled the cap off. It looks really good in it. The rear diff looks really good. Alright, y'all, time to lift her up. Righto, morning, new day in the shop. We're gonna continue on with this F350. So, dismantling the F350. So I'm just pulling off the tail shaft here and getting all the engine bolts and everything done. I just thought I'd show you this. So this MP205 transfer was rebuilt. Well, that one's not too bad. I don't know if you can see the wobble in that. That worries me greatly. So, yes. At this stage, I'm probably going to be pulling this whole entire thing apart, I think. Yeah, to be honest with you, I'm not even feeling great about the engine. He's resealed it, so who knows what he's fucking done. I've just noticed his covers on the breather here, it's fucking broken, so who knows. Yeah. Anyway, here's what it is. We'll keep poking along. I'll try and get this motor out of the chassis so I can rack it off and put it up. And then yeah, work from there and see how we go. I'll bring his back when I'm lifting the motor out. Alright, here we go, big girl coming out. No wires or nothing. Beautiful. I wonder how heavy it is. It is 650 kilos. Gearbox transfer and 12 valve Cummins. So as you see from that, she's pretty wild, she's pretty out there. No, I'm not going to use any of the body or the chassis. Like I said in the video, we're keeping the running gear, we're keeping the diffs. So 12 valve Cummins NV 4500 and 205 transfer case. Yes, my hauler is not going to be on the ground. My hauler is going to be four-wheel drive, being that I live in the country. I want to be able to go suss out shit way out west. If I have to, I can do a creek crossing. If I have to, I can sort of climb a goats track. This thing's going to be capable, it's going to be powerful, it's going to have heaps of torque, big, comfortable. Which brings me to the first project. What is the first project and what is ticking all these boxes for me? The main one, big, comfortable, and like I said at the start, all these projects are going to be crew cabs. Keep in mind what I said, the other two are definitely going to be pre-60s, but this one is not so much. So here we go. I welcome you to the first project. Truck that is seen a little bit of, but not much. This is the truck that I call my Julie. As you can tell, it's a 1977 D5N Julie dual cab. I've been umming and ahhing about this car since I got it a long time ago for whether I want it big or little, or not so much little, but lifted or low. I'd love to do it low, but where I live out here, honestly, a low car is great to cruise around town, but I want to use this as my hauler, and a lot of the trucks and cars and stuff that I get aren't just in a showroom, aren't just in someone's house in town. A lot of the stuff that I get's in a paddock, out in the middle of nowhere. It's not really something that I can just get. So I wanted something that I can get around a bit more with. So I finally made the decision. The big girl is going to be a lifted 4x4 Julie dual cab. 6BT Cummins with 110,000 mile on it in the US. Barely running. Good motor. She looks like she's been on the ocean, but it's a good motor. NV 4500 that's pretty much brand new, and an MP 205 transfer case. So here she is, 12 valve, HX35W. So good turbo to start with. See how the project goes first, and if it goes good, I'll end up putting compounds on it, but that's here nor there. As I said, NV 4500 that's pretty much brand new, and an MP 205 that needs to be rebuilt. Apparently it was rebuilt, but we haven't seen the likes of that yet, with the fact that the pinion gear has all the slop. So we'll see. Motor starts and runs. Plan is, this big girl has a 245 Hemi. I'll just pop the bonnet and show you. It's been a while since I've popped the bonnet on this thing. If I can find the little latch. So this has a 245 Hemi, heavy duty, with a 4-speed, which we were talking about just before in the 46. This whole power plant is going into that D5N chassis. So this runs and drives perfect. This thing is a really good, strong engine. I'll show you here in a second. It's got absolutely no kilometers on it. So I'm literally just going to pluck this out. That brings me to diffs. I needed 4-drive diffs, but I couldn't just put any random 4-drive diffs under it. So the F350 behind us, she come with 1 tons. Dana 60 front end, 8 lug. Honestly, they're probably the best 4-drive front diff that you can get. There's not many that are better than it. They're used in so many rock crawlers, haul trucks, you name it. They're used in so much stuff, especially in the big 4-drive girls that I want to build out of this. Back diff is a Sterling 10.5. If I can track it down, I'll be getting a Dana 70 dually diff. But if I have to now, the Sterling 10.5, same stud pattern as the front. So I'll use that to chuck underneath the back of this, put a set of jewels on it and send it. I'll show you in here a little bit. So I already have pulled the back seat out, which I should have waited, but it's all good. The seats they're not great, obviously they're a bit old, but you can sit on them quite comfortable. There's no mouse damage or nothing. But as you can see, it's got 128,000 Ks on it. That's ridiculous. Like, it's got such smaller Ks on it for what it is. When it starts, oil pressure comes up. It's got heaps of oil pressure. Really, really good truck. Some would say too good to pull apart, but fuck them, I do what I want. As you can see, it's a tiny little bit of rust in the floors, which I'll just pull out and replace. So, D5 ends. When these were registered in 77, you couldn't actually have a commercial vehicle with 4 doors. So this used to be, I'm guessing, well, the people that had it before me bought it brand new. So it was a commercial farm vehicle. You couldn't actually have 4 door handles as a commercial vehicle. So as you can see, they plated the door handle up. I will find another one of them. So if anyone has one, hit me up on social medias, TikTok or Instagram, at Ashwood Fab Shop. If you got one, I'll buy it off you. Until then, I will, they've put like a little handle in here that you sort of just pull on, which I'll see if I can do here with 7 hands, but so you pull on that, big girl pops open. And as you can see, the back is absolutely spot on, bugger all rust. Obviously the floor's there, but I've had a good look underneath the car. Bugger all rust in that. Pretty good surface rust. The roof is really good. There's bugger all surface rust in that. I mean bugger all rust in that. I actually haven't found rust in it yet as such. So where do we go from here? Righto. So first and foremost, we've got to rip the diffs out of that F350. It's out, it's ready to go. Oh, sorry, I've got to rip them out and get them ready to go. With the rear end, I'm hoping to use the standard F350 or my standard Julie springs, and all I do is just move the mounts for the Super Duty diffs to make them right. For the front, it's going to be a bit more of a headache. I have to make my own mounts on the front rail and stuff, but we'll get to that in the next video. So from now, we start dismantling the Julie. That will be next week's video. Once it's the engine's out, front clip off, steering, brakes, all that's off the firewall. I'm going to have to fix the rust in the firewall to allow us to fit the Cummins in. Once I do that, I can mount the Cummins in properly. Once I do that, I can start bracing up all the front end. So then I can put the spring hangers on so I can put the front diff in. Once I get the Cummins sort of just sitting in there, I'll put the front diffs in and then work out, once that's raised off the ground, obviously on the 35s, I can get underneath of it and jack it all up and put the gearbox cross member in, get that all situated in, make sure it's not going to be too far back, too far forward, see if I need to cut anything out. I'm hoping I don't have to cut anything out, even for the four-wheel drive shifter, because it has a removable doghouse, which I can make work. So, I think I'll give you a bit of a look at what the other projects are. They aren't going to come for a while yet, but I'll give you a bit of a look. So, first and foremost, the bag dually. It's going to be out of my 46. That thing's going to be crazy. You've all seen that. This will be the bagged dually. Turbo diesel. Everything I've got is going to be turbo diesel, except a couple of smaller projects. So this is the D5N chassis that we've got here. That has the 245 heavy duty out of the dually in it. This is just sitting on here. Don't take any notice of that. That will be coming off that. It's got its own chassis to go on. This is going to be a build during the build. So this is a shop truck. You've seen it all. This is the shop truck that I was calling Frankie or Dodgy. Honestly, I don't like either of them names. So I'm not going to use either. When I put the AT4, the D5N cab back on it, it'll have an AT4 front clip. It will go back on, and it's going to be a long bed. So I don't know, it'll probably end up being called long bed Fred. So yeah, we'll get that done. So this cab will be coming off. It will be put aside for when I do the bag dually, which is next. So just remember what I said at the front of the video, all crew cabs. So that will be the bag dually, and then we'll start the shop truck, which will be the AT4 D5N shop truck, 245 Hemi, 4-speed, nothing crazy, just a cool slam cruiser. So that will be coming along. That's the shop truck that I was talking about, Dodgy, Frankie, whatever it's going to be, it will be. So that will be going on its original chassis with the AT4 front clip, which is pretty. I like the dual headlights, but I also like single headlights, so what's better than one of them? Two of them. So that will be the shop truck that I was telling you about. It's pretty complete, so literally bolt it back together, put the side trim on it, and go from there. And then we've got our, this will be the Tourer project. I want to do a lap of Australia in this truck. Dual cab, some other cool stuff, turbo diesel. It will be a cool truck when it's done. It's big and boisterous, just a bit like my dually. So yeah, watch out for that too. It's on an 80 series chassis. Seen in the background, another 80 series right there. That should tell you enough. And yes, before you ask, I am definitely going to rip apart and tear apart a perfectly good 80. Why? Because it's my truck and I don't build it for your approval. Just remember that. So, I am, we'll leave it there. Thanks for watching this week's video. So as you can see, we've got some pretty cool stuff coming up. I'm pretty excited to get ripping into my dually. So yeah, I am flat out into it as we speak. So we've got a fair bit of content coming up, and it'll be more regular. I've needed to get all this stuff organised so I can just create straight content for you guys. So here we go. We're finally here to start the big dually. Thanks for watching. Just remember, don't be a sheep, follow your dream. Thanks for watching, guys. Catch us later.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take sh-